At Capella University, learning online doesn't mean learning alone. You'll get support from people who care about your success, like your enrollment specialist who gets to know you and the goals you'd like to achieve. You'll also get a designated academic coach who's with you throughout your entire program. Plus, career coaches are available to help you navigate your professional goals. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Suffering from dry, tired, irritated eyes? Don't let dry eyes win. Use Systane Pro. It hydrates, restores, and protects dry eyes for up to 12 hours. Systane Pro. Triple action dry eye relief.
I'll get this out of the way first. I'm guessing IO is not a big fan of opposing players patting him on the ass when he walks by. Is that where you were?
I didn't see it, so I looked up on the replay and I realized what happened. And I think something was said. What was said, I don't know.
Right.
But you know, both those guys are competitors. There was probably some things said, I would imagine, in the previous game, and I don't know. I was probably a better guy to talk to what was actually said, but something was said when he smacked him on the way out, and there was no need to do that. Just let him go off the court. You know, especially if you got something to say. But I think I'm assuming that I got upset just because he smacked him on the way out.
Yeah. I mean, it felt like 3.5 quarters of you guys just fighting this double-digit deficit, and then all of a sudden, either the stops started coming, and I'm sure you'll watch the film on it, or they looked like they just kind of wore down offensively and ran out of gas. What did you see? I mean, what did you see in the turnaround?
Well, I think the one thing that really hurt us was the turnovers. You know? Not that we had an enormous amount, but obviously Josh and Kobe were up there, and there was, I think it was 20-something points, 23 or 24 points off our turnovers. That, was something that, really kind of played into their hands because they were really good in transition. I think the other thing that helped, I think when we were big, I think having a little bit more size on Johnson. He's such a hard guy to handle just because he shoots threes and he puts it down and he drives it. And I thought Zach did a really good job of staying vertical, and we just had a little bit more length out there to maybe be a little bit more disruptive because they really had a good flow going on offense. And, from that standpoint, I think that kind of helped us get back in the game. I thought Zach and Vooch out there, and even Jalen when they were out there, I thought their length, because at times Johnson was just playing over us. He was playing over our guards. He's a hard guy when he gets in the mid-range. Yeah. Now, they took 20 mid-range shots, which is ones you want to live with, but they made a lot of them, and those guys can make them, and I thought they were shooting over us. So I thought his size helped us a little bit there in the second half.
I know getting healthy and getting whole has been talked about a lot. But at the same time, is there anything more you're seeing of this group that just sputtered along and couldn't beat, Pelicans, Pacers, and teams like that, and then they go on this road trip? The 4 days of practice probably helped their 4 off days. Vooch said it helped, but to go on this road trip where a lot of people are looking at it going, oh, well, this isn't probably going to end well, and to do what you guys did, how satisfying is that?
Yeah, I give our guys a lot of credit, and again, I've never tried to, make any excuses for what we had gone through, and I said this before, I think there was a lot on Josh's plate. We got very, very one-dimensional. There was a lot of guys that had some opportunities. I still felt like we could have played better than we did. Whether or not we could have won those games, I don't know, but I think we were capable of playing better in those games. And I think that, when you have, Zach Collins, and you have Trey Jones, and you have Kevin Huerter, and you have Isaac Okoro all sitting over there, in a lot of ways, they're playmakers. Certainly Trey and Kevin are. And when you take playmaking for us off the court, it can get really, really hard for us. We can become a little more one-dimensional. And do I think we played the good basketball? And I even said, do I think we're playing the right way? No. And again, I'm not making excuses because I don't think we even gave ourselves a chance. You know what I mean? So that was the disappointing part, and the stuff that we can control, we just didn't do a good enough job controlling it. And as we started to get bodies back, I think there was more ball handling, there was more playmaking. It gave us a little bit more size. We could go a little bit bigger. We could go a little bit smaller. We had a little bit more flexibility. And like I've said, we just don't have a lot of margins, for us. Even with the group that we have fully whole, we've got to play really, really well. And, again, sometimes, we'd be sitting in here right now looking at the turnovers. When you have 14 turnovers in your backcourt, like, you're generally not going to win the game. So we were fortunate to win. Those guys made plays. And, I give Kobe and Josh a lot of credit for keeping their head in the game because they both made great plays coming down the stretch. Josh obviously made that spin move that gave us the lead, and then Kobe made free throws. So I appreciate them sticking with it. But I think, we have to play really, really well, and that's just the way it is. And we're going to go up against different teams, and they're going to pose different challenges.
Last one for me then, with that inbound play that you had that Kobe ended up getting the foul. Where was that? Was it supposed to go to him before he got fouled?
It was supposed to go to Vooch on kind of a throw into the lane play. They actually did a pretty good job guarding it. Vooch, I think, he got on the top side and Vooch was able to kind of seal. I don't know if Josh could have gotten it to him because of the pressure on the ball.
Yeah.
And then I think as Kobe was coming off that screen, that's where, he kind of got fouled. But the play was to throw it in there to Vooch in the paint. I thought with Okongwu fouling out 1.9 seconds, they're really versatile on the perimeter, maybe a lot of switching, blow it up. Could we actually use Josh's size and just throw it into the lane? Maybe Vooch could manufacture a jump hook or something. But before we ever threw the ball, Kobe got fouled.
One more.
Last one.
Coach, talk about the resolve of your team and defensively. Being down by 15 late in third quarter, coming back and after giving up 150-50, staying with night defensively and getting back in the game.
Well, it felt like it was going to go to 150 again the way the game started. The thing I appreciated about them tonight competitively is, to your point, it wasn't going well. It wasn't going well individually or collectively. We got hurt on some offensive rebounds. We turned the ball over. But the one thing I give, our guys were moving to the next play. I thought there was some resiliency. There was some toughness. They didn't get down. They were trying to bounce back. They were trying to move to the next thing. And I just really appreciated them doing that, because you can get so wrapped up in yourself that you don't realize there's other things going on that you can control, and I give our guys a lot of credit for fighting all the way to the end, and giving themselves a chance to win. These two games, I thought we had control the last minute of the game at their place, and, they obviously made plays to get right back in the game with a chance to tie it, and this was a game that they probably controlled, and, we had a chance to get, kind of back in the game, but I credit our guys where, they just kept battling and fighting and just trying to find a way to continue to make plays.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, yep.
Suffering from dry, tired, irritated eyes? Don't let dry eyes win. Use Sustain Pro. It hydrates, restores, and protects dry eyes for up to 12 hours. Sustain Pro. Triple action dry eye relief.
Hi, I'm Andy Staples from Andy and Ari on 3, and another 5-star quarterback just entered the transfer portal. That's what college football is now, a nonstop adventure, and we cover it every day at Andy and Ari on 3, whether it's the transfer portal, the college football playoff, the coaching carousel, you name it. And guess what? It doesn't stop even when the season ends. So join us every day, Monday through Friday. New episodes drop at 3 p.m. wherever you get your podcasts.
If you're a maintenance supervisor for a commercial property, you've had to deal with everything from leaky faucets to flickering light bulbs. But nothing's worse than that ancient boiler that's lived in the building since the day it was built, 50 years ago. It's enough to make anyone lose their cool. That's where Grainger comes in. With industrial-grade products and dependable fast delivery, Grainger can help with any challenge, from worn-out components to everyday necessities. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening. Happy holidays! Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a happy holiday.